Yes, I welcome you all for the SMS class. Okay, so in the last class, I have dictated the notes. So today I'll be explaining. Okay, then first of all, we'll see what do you mean by simulation. Simulation is nothing but what operation of real world process or system over the time. Nothing but what operation of a real world process or system over a time. Okay, next, how the system changes over the time. We will be developing a model. That model we are calling it as what? Simulation model. Okay, so based on the assumptions we consider the operation of the systems. Okay, next, we can say that when we can say that the simulation is appropriate tool. Okay, simulation what helps, it enables the study of what? A system. Okay, how the system is working out with the set of interactions. Okay, next, what are the things affecting the system. Okay, that will be we come to know the simulation. Next, when you design the simulation model, we can generate a great gain more amount of knowledge, means how exactly the system is working under process. Okay, and also by varying the inputs and we see the different outputs, we can come much deeper knowledge about the system behavior. Okay, next, simulation is used to get the new designs, new implementations and all. Okay, and mainly it is designed for what? For training purpose, the learning and making use without any cost, means it will come to know the behavior of the whole system. Okay, next, for organization, how the interaction will be takes place. So by using the simulation we can get it is an appropriate tool. Next, when simulation is not appropriate, when you solve the problem generally common sense, then it is not a good tool. If you solve it just with the easier way, then it is not analytically, then it is not a good tool. Okay, by direct experiments also simulation is not accurate, because if you get output with giving input, then it is not difficult task. But if you want to see different inputs, at that time it is appropriate, but for general it is not useful. Next, when if you are having a not sufficient amount of time is not available, then simulation is not a appropriate tool. Next, advantages of simulation are what? So it will help us to study the system. Next, it helps us to solve the problem. It helps us to design the new policies. Next, how the time consumption can be reduced, we can come to know the simulation. Next, how the system is operated, we can come to know the simulation. What causes the delay, we can measure by using the simulation. Next, what are the important things we need for a system, we can come to know the simulation. Next, so disadvantages of simulation is that it requires a special training, because if you want to go for simulation you need to be trained. Okay, and whatever the results we are getting, it is very difficult to predict it. Okay, that is the thing. Next, and it is time consuming. Okay, you need to check for all the inputs and you can vary the inputs, so it is a time consuming task. And mainly it is used in cases where analytic solution, generally it is the solution we are not get manually, we go for what? A simulation model. Next, applications, where are it is useful. Mainly you are used in the manufacturing application, for example, for unless assembly of electronics, any goods, if you go there you can use the process of simulation. Next, in semiconductor industry, for example, comparing the variability of the devices, then you can go for simulation. Next, for construction of a dam, how the overflow will happen in the dams and all, there you go for simulation. Next, in the military applications and similarly in logistics, transport, different applications, the simulation will be helpful. Next, we'll see the system and system environment. System is nothing but what? Group of objects. For example, system is nothing but what? It may change during the state of a system. For example, if you go for any garage for servicing, we call it as what? A system. their environment, the surrounding people is called as what? System environment. Okay. Components, we'll see this components of a system. Entity, entity may be what? State. Entity may be what? A state of a system. For example, your entity may be a vehicle. Okay. Attribute is nothing but what? It is a name of that whatever the thing you are going for the servicing. Next, activity means if you go for servicing, that is a activity. State means when you go for the servicing, what is the changes possible happening, that is called a state. Event means how the repair has done, that is called as what? Events. Endogenous means the event takes place inside, exogenous means the event takes outside. Next, there are different types of system: discrete and continuous. Discrete system is what? It will be discrete system is what? The systems are changing with the set of points. For example, if you go for the servicing, how many number of people waiting, one after the other, the servicing will take place. So that is called as discrete system. Continuous system is what? In which variable change over time. For example, if you want to know the behavior of the water flow in the dam, it is continuous, then it will be in the form of a waveform, then we are calling it as what? Continuous system. Next, model of a system. How you can define a model? Is defined as what? A representation of a system for purpose. For example, if you want to study the overall model, so we need to know the aspects of the model. Okay, different types of models we are having. Mathematical model, so there you are using symbolic notation. Static model, there you are using a particular point of a time. Dynamic model, it is always changing over time. Deterministic, no random variables. Statistic, you are having a random variables. Discrete and continuous model is analogal. Next we will see with the discrete event simulation. So how modeling will be changed during the particular set of points, we call it as what? Discrete event simulation. So we are having a different step. First one is what? It is mainly divided into 4 phases. Phase 1 is what? Problem formation and setting of objectives. Next, phase 2 is what? Model deconstruction to validation. Phase 3 is experiment design to more runs, and phase 4 is what? Implement documentation and implementation. Okay, so here first one is what? Problem formulation and setting. Here what are the things we are required to run the project, so that policymaker will be providing, so that we are pulling what problem definition and setting up the objectives. Model consumption means what are the things we are required, and data, what are the things we need, we are collecting. Next, what happens? How exactly once the data is ready, how the real world system will be affecting, that is model translation. Next, what happens? We are verifying the data. Next, we go for what? Validation, whether the representative system can be validated. It can be go for the iterative process. Okay, next, then we go for what? Experimental process. Experimental process, we will go with the different inputs and how we will go on running. Okay, and we go for the more amount of runs, so that there should not be any errors. Next, we go for what? Documentation. If it is successful, then we go for the documentation. One is program documentation and one other is process documentation. Program documentation, what we do the case cases and all, and process documentation, we will see the project history and how it can be done, that will be done. Next, finally, implementation. Once successfully it has been completed, then we go for the implementation phase. The user can be used for working with the process. Okay, so this is about the discrete event simulation. Okay, next, simulation, you are having some of the things. One is what? Calling population and server. Here calling population is nothing but what? For example, taken the example of servicing. Here what are the vehicles coming, those are all called as what? Customers, they are called as calling population. Server is nothing but what? Garage is doing servicing of the vehicles. So a customer one is served, then remaining customers are always in the waiting line of queue. So this is how the queuing system will be working out. Simulation will be, process will be takes place. Okay, and next class will see how exactly the simulation process will be takes place. Okay, for example, you are having a queuing system where calling population, number of arrival, service mechanism you can see. Okay, so as you see, arrival event, if server is busy, yes, then you may go for queue. If not, you go for the servicing. Departure event, completion of the event. If another one is waiting, then remove from the queue, go for the servicing. If no, then the server will become idle. Okay, so these are the two things. And so in the next class, I'll be taking the offline class. So there we'll see the problem. Okay, how exactly the simulation process we are working. Okay, so there we'll see start solving the problem. So theoretical parts are covered, so problematic part. So next class I'll be sharing a link, so there we'll see with the problem. Okay, thank you.